Hey, what's up y'all? I'm back with another broadcasted spectacle from my grand library. I've spent the past few days atop my tower pondering over my librams and codexes for farms that could be both applicable to Cataclysm Classic and retail alike, and I drew the conclusion that the obvious answer was Savage Leather. Seeing as Savage Leather is relevant on Cataclysm Classic as it's the current mat, and the price being at the highest it's been since February of 2023 on retail, I figured now's a better time than ever to make a little guide on where to farm it and how to farm it. In this video, I'm going to show y'all how to quickly and easily level up your Cataclysm skinning in order to maximize your earnings, as well as 5 different places where you can farm Savage Leather so you can begin stacking paper. Anyways, with that being said, let's just get right into it. Leveling your Cataclysm skinning is pretty simple, taking around 10 to 15 minutes tops on both retail and Cataclysm Classic, assuming you're already at skinning level 450. Personally, I would recommend leveling your skinning using the Tolbarad route here, seeing as there are plenty of Darkwood spiders and they have pretty fast respawn timers. Alternatively, if you're on retail, you can grind this part of the Firelands raid, and maxing out your skinning will only take 2 resets, if even. Now that you know how to max out your skinning as fast as possible, let's get into the actual farms. The first route that I wanted to share, of course, is the Firelands, seeing as it's the fastest and most efficient farm as far as leather per hour goes. Seeing as the route is quite short, you'll generally have no issues hitting your instance lockout cap within 10 to 25 minutes, giving you plenty of time to do other things. Farming for an hour typically yields me around 900 Savage Leather, as well as around 50 volatiles and 10 to 15 pristine hides, for a combined total value of around 22,000 gold. Now, while the Firelands route is pretty good and a solid choice for people who value their time and don't want to spend hours doing grinding non-stop, seeing as you'll run into the instance cap, it can be pretty lackluster, seeing as you're essentially forced to stop farming, which sucks, especially if you're trying to stack your cheddar. It's okay though, since the next 4 farms are great alternatives if you're looking to lock in for a non-stop skin sesh. The next farm that I wanted to showcase for y'all is located here around the Darkwood on Tolbarad Peninsula. Now, this farm is great for a couple reasons. For starters, if you're unable to solo the Firelands raid on retail or Cataclysm Classic, it's probably your best bet. Secondly, it's a farm that you can grind pretty much non-stop, seeing as you're very unlikely to run into instance cap issues, but you can never be too sure, even in the open world, so you don't have to take my word on that. Farming this route for an hour typically yields me around 650 Savage Leather, as well as around 75 volatiles for a combined total of around 18,000 gold in value. Like I was saying, seeing as this farm isn't in an instance, the only real thing stopping you from farming here is the weekly server reset, or things like eating or using the bathroom, unless you're a robot or something, but I'm saving botting for another video. The next farm that I wanted to show y'all honestly surprised me, since I could never have fathomed farming in this zone for any reason other than the small treasure chests that were gold mined back in Pandaria, but it's the Pale Roost located here in Deep Holm. Here, there are a bunch of stone giants throwing rocks at the drakes as they fly around, and are relatively easy to kill. This, coupled with the fact that they have really insane respawn rates, means that you shouldn't have any issues turbo farming this area until your fingers get sore and your eyes fall out. Farming this route for an hour typically yields me around 400 Savage Leather, as well as around 150 to 200 Blackened Dragon Scales, for a combined total of around 33,000 gold in value. A fun fact about the drakes is that they actually don't drop Savage Leather scraps, regardless of your skinning level, meaning that much like the Firelands and Tolbarad Peninsula, this could be a decent spot to level your skinning, but I couldn't really be bothered to change my script once I made the discovery, so I decided to just roll with what I had. Like I was saying though, I was quite pleasantly surprised to find an unironic gold farm here in Deep Holm. Might have to try visiting this place more often. Who knows, maybe I'll discover even more. Traveling over to the Twilight Highlands, another pretty good route for farming Savage Leather is located here around Kurthaven. This area is extremely dense with mobs that you can skin, including the Highland Wargs, Highland Elks, Tawny Owls, and even the Griffins in the area. Running around like a chicken with its head cut off for an hour typically yields me around 1100 Savage Leather, for a total of around 14,700 gold in loot and value. While it's not that bad, I think that it's generally only worth farming if you're also in the area for volatile water and looking to change up your farming session. The zone itself is full of farms, including Elementium, which I covered in a past video, as well as things like volatile fire and volatile water. Bastion of Twilight in the zone too is also the premier Ember Silk cloth farming location, but we're talking about leather here, so who really cares? The last farm that I wanted to cover brings us back to Tol Barad, being located here on the actual Tol Barad island itself. Now, all you're going to be doing is running around and killing the crocolisks, which is a pretty simple task seeing as they, much like the spiders on the peninsula, have a very fast respawn timer. The only major downside to the farm is that if there are other players present and you're sorry at PvP or playing a tank post battle for Azeroth, then you may run into some issues. Not me though, I'm different. Farming this route for an hour typically yields me around 750 leather for a total value of around 7,200 gold. Like I said, if you're afraid of a little world PvP or you're just sorry at it, maybe this farm isn't for you. Which is why it's a good thing that I listed it and mentioned 4 other ones that you can take full advantage of previously in the video. Like I was saying in the intro, I definitely would recommend getting into Savage Leather gold farming right now on both Cataclysm and retail alike, seeing as the prices on both are sailing pretty steady and at pretty decent price points as well, making it more than worthwhile to be putting some grinding into, if you're into that kind of thing. I don't really care. Anyways y'all, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, cool. Let me know what the worst gold farm you've ever tried doing was, as I'm genuinely interested and totally don't want to make a video on it. If the answer is going to be a farm I recommended, just say something else, since I can never do anything wrong and all of my opinions are factually correct. Like I've been saying in all my videos, my Discord server is officially open, and if you'd like to join, there's a PowerPoint in the description below that contains a hex that will K-word you within 15 days. Kind of like that one cockroach ability that the battle pets have, as well as a link to my server at the very end. Make sure to subscribe since I deserve it, and with that all being said, anyways, as always, peace.